it's Evie here and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I hope you decide to stick around and subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to be going through how I want to become a minimalist or more of a minimal person in 2025 and the steps that I'm going to take to do so. So if you're interested to hear about what I'm going to do to become more minimal, just keep on watching, and I hope this gives you some ideas as well if you are in your minimal girl era as well. Like me, you are probably aware of that happy feeling that you get when you buy something new, and what you are feeling is a high dose of serotonin, which is one of the natural body chemicals that controls your mood. But after you get that item, how long does it take you for you to get over it? Like, how long after you buy it when you're kind of just like, meh, I don't really care about it anymore, and your serotonin levels just drop? Because for me, I feel like that happy feeling doesn't really last that long. It's like I get the item, I'm happy for 2 seconds, and then I'm kind of over it. And being aware of that, this is why I'm going to turn into more of a minimalist in 2025 and find high doses of serotonin in other aspects of my life instead of just relying on buying something new. Now, being a minimalist does look different to every individual. So if you watch this video and you're like, Evie, that's not really being a minimalist or being more minimal, this is just what it is to me. So everyone is different. This is just going to be my journey and the steps that I'm going to take. We have really seen the rise of underconsumption core on TikTok, and this has been such a big trend that has really overtaken this past year, and people are really focusing on using what they have instead, and that is mainly because the cost of living has risen quite exponentially over the last year. So people are just trying to save money where they can. That way they can use that money on, life expenses. So gone are the days of drawers and drawers and drawers of makeup and clothes, and here are the days of using what we have instead and appreciating what we already have. So over the last few weeks, I started creating a list on things that I wanted to focus on for 2025 to be more minimal. And there are 6 dot points that I want to go through. So I really thought about what other people were looking at to become more minimal, what resonated with me, and then I also thought of things on myself along the way. So I have my notes here on my iPad, which I absolutely adore, and let's get into these 6 points. We are starting strong with number 1, which is no more impulse buys. An impulse buy is when, let's say, you go to the shops without the intention of buying this item, you see it, and then you're like, I'm gonna grab it, and you buy it. That is a impulse buy because you weren't actually thinking about getting it in the first place. So now what I've actually been doing, maybe in the last 3 months or so, is if I see a product I want, 1, I will think about it for probably up to a week or 2. 2, I'll probably research the product to see if I actually do want it and it aligns with what I want in my life. And then 3, if I've thought about it, done my research, I still want it, then I will buy the product. So that way it's not an impulse buy, I actually wanted the product. Number 2 is not buying backups of makeup or any skincare. So back in 2016, with the rise of beauty YouTube, I was impulse buying left, right, and center. I was buying multiple foundations, multiple eyeshadow palettes, so many lipsticks. And now it is 2024, it is 8 years later, and I just have so much makeup. Actually, I have one highlighter from 2016 still, and that's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. Don't think I'll ever actually get rid of that. But over the from 2016 to 2019, I was really buying a lot of makeup and skincare. But now in the year of 2024, I have really cut down my collection, and I haven't really been buying any backups unless I'm really close to using up a product. Then I'll buy it if I see it on sale, for example. But I actually had a goal for 2024 to have no more than 80 makeup products in my collection. That does sound like a big number still to me, but to put into perspective, last year, I think I ended with 100 and something products, and I believe I'm actually down to, I'm pretty sure I am down to 80. I'll pop a number on the screen of how many makeup products I've ended with. But I've really been trying to use up what I have and no longer buying backups. I still have way too much for one person, and makeup does expire, so I really need to be thinking about those purchases that I probably won't be making unless I'm down to like literally one product. But I'm slowly working through that makeup collection, and I'm really hoping by the end of 2025 that I'm down to 60 products or less, which I really do think is manageable because I do wear makeup quite often, and I'm not really actually buying anymore. I think the last makeup purchase I made was on my birthday back in October, and that was a Tower 28 gloss. And that was because I didn't need, but I really wanted a nude gloss and I didn't have one in my collection. So I bought one then. So yeah. With skincare, I'm pretty good. Like I usually do stick to one product of each, but just sticking with the same makeup, not having any backups. Once I'm finished the item, then allow myself to buy a new one. And I think with that, I feel like I can actually spend my money more on luxurious items if I do want to go more of a pricey item on makeup, because I'm not buying it so much. I'm really saving my money to buy something more luxurious, like a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, for example. Linking into this point, same as perfume, I don't want to bring any more perfumes into my life in 2025. I think I have about 10 to 12 perfumes, and I'm really trying my hardest to dwindle that down. My goal would be not to have more than 3 perfumes, because I feel like having 3 is a really nice variety, and I really don't want to exceed that. But I'm almost done with 2 perfumes, so I'm really hoping by the end of 2025 I have dwindled that down. Obviously, using 10 perfumes in a year is probably not going to be manageable, but perfume doesn't really go out of date, so I'm not too mad about it. But also I just really want to dwindle that number down. This is kind of feeling like a no buy as well, which is great, because being a more minimal person is just not bringing in unnecessary items. And my next point is no more shoes. No more, nada. I have so many damn shoes. During the years of 2021 to 2022, I was buying so many sneakers. Like the amount of Jordans I have is just not okay. I have so many, and then I have so many gym shoes, and my goal is just not to bring in any more. So what I've been doing the last 2 years, that if I do want a pair of shoes, I usually ask for it about Christmas time or birthday time, but I don't even want to ask for shoes for my birthday or Christmas, just because I have so many and it's not necessary for me to have any more. The only shoes I would replace if they were to get ruined are my Metcon 4s. I wear those Nikes so often where I wouldn't even think about getting a new pair if they were to disappear on me or get ruined. Whereas other shoes in my collection, if they were to run the end of their course, I wouldn't go out and replace them. Point number 5 is not buying things for the sake of them being on sale and not falling into the FOMO hype. I've really done really well this year with not buying things for the sake of them being on sale. Like during Black Friday, I only bought from Honor Active, and that was actually a wish list that I was building over time. So I already knew I wanted those products. So I thought about it. I wanted it more than a week later, and I knew a sale was coming up. So I used that time to get more money off. So I've really been thinking about, okay, do I actually want this product, or do I only want it because it's on sale, or do I only want it because it's trending? So really thinking about my purchases in that sense when it comes to the sale period. So I'm allowing myself to buy during sale periods, but also having a little bit of restraint on the things that I am eyeing, and really think about it even further. And with that, with the things that I am eyeing, let's say I'm eyeing a white sports bra from Gymshark. What I'm now doing is I'm going to my collection that is way too big, looking at the sports bras that I already have, and I can be like, you know what, I actually have a similar white sports bra already. Let's remove that from my wish list. I don't actually need or want it. So just going through those steps in my head, that way I'm able to cultivate my wish list to be even smaller. Lastly, this is a more of a mental exercise that I want to do. So I actually want to have less clutter in my head. And I feel like if my head is less cluttered, I can make better decisions, and then I can make better financial decisions as well. A way I want to do this is I really want to incorporate yoga once a week, because it is like a nice and slow movement, and it's great for your body, mind, and soul, and it's going to put me in like a zen moment, which is what I am looking for. I do love to go on walks and go to the gym. You know, they do say that's like free therapy, but I just wanted to incorporate something just a little bit slower. And before you say it, no, I do not want to do meditation. I did try it all throughout 2024, and I just found it so boring. I found out I was quite uncomfortable, and I also felt like I couldn't actually shut my mind off. I actually found my space in my head feeling more cluttered while I was trying to meditate. So I think trying something like yoga is going to be really great for me. And I did used to do it during COVID, and I really, really enjoyed it actually, and I felt really good after it. So going to bring that back into 2025. So those are the 6 dot points that I'm really going to be focusing on in 2025 to help me become a minimalist, and it's also going to help me better financially as well. Lastly, I have 3 dot points that I'm going to go through. These are ones that I already follow and I really find them helpful. So if you need more ideas on how to become a more minimal person if you're going into your minimal era, I really hope these help you. First one is appreciating what you already have and start shopping your stash. So as I mentioned, I have been doing this in the last 3 months or so, and this has really helped me not bring in new items. So if you are going out on a night and you really want to wear a dress, I'm sure you already have 7 dresses that you can pick from. Appreciate the dresses you already have and shop your stash. You don't need to go buy something new just for one occasion, which I feel like that's something that a lot of us girls used to do on nights out. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm going out Friday night, I need a new outfit. No, you don't. Use what you already have, appreciate what you already have, and you can also mix and match it to make it a new outfit. So, you know, if you wore this black skirt with a white top, pair it with a maroon shirt that you already have with different shoes, bam, you have a new outfit, you've shopped your stash. If you feel like your wardrobe is feeling a bit too cluttered and you just want to get rid of a few things, think about the things that you haven't touched in a while. And I feel like we've all been there with I have this pink glittery shirt, I haven't worn it in 5 years, but what if I need it one day? Just get rid of it. When are you gonna need it? Do you have something coming up in the next year where you feel like you're gonna need a pink glittery shirt? No, you haven't touched it, it's collecting dust. Let's pass it along. Decluttering your space is obviously a great way to become more minimal, and I feel like without too much clutter, it's also a much more satisfying on your mind as well. What I have been doing when I declutter my clothes, because I used to go in phases of like, oh my gosh, I just want to get rid of everything, and then I get rid of things that I actually just haven't worn in a month, and I get rid of it, and then a month later I'm like, oh, I got rid of this, now I need it again. So what I have been doing is if I do a declutter, which I actually done one about a month ago, is I'll put everything, you know, in my rubbish bag or like my donation bag. I will set it aside. I will leave it in a space where I can see the bag. I usually give it about 2 to 4 weeks, and it's a bit of time, 2 to 4 weeks. If I haven't thought about the item that's in that bag, then I know that I truly want to get rid of it. And then after I've cultivated that bag, then I usually go around to like family and see if anybody else wants the items. If not, then I just pop it in like a donation bin. But I just feel like doing that way you know that you truly want to get rid of the item instead of just getting rid of it for the sake of getting rid of it. So 2 things to take away from that. Don't declutter things just for the sake of decluttering them. And number 2, if you haven't worn something in 5 years and you're thinking, oh, what if I'll need this one day? It's time to just pop it in that donation bag. All right, I'm on to my last point. And if you feel personally attacked by this point, well, if the shoe fits, I don't know what to tell you. But if you're going on vacation, if you are going on your Euro Summer 2025, you do not need a brand new wardrobe just for vacation. I have seen so many TikToks over the last few months of people buying so many new pieces of clothing just for the purpose of going on vacation. And I feel like that's a waste of money, a waste of time, and just a waste of space in your closet for when you come back. And it's just not necessary to be buying so many different pieces of clothing just for a vacation. So just like I said with the first point, appreciate what you already have. I'm sure you can put together a suitcase of things that you're gonna look cute in with clothes you already have in your wardrobe. So I don't think I've actually, don't quote me exactly, but I don't actually think I've purposely bought clothes just for the fact that I was going on vacation. So there's no need for it. There really isn't. Water break. That reminds me, another one. You don't need to buy a new bottle every time a new cute one comes out. I was in a phase where I was buying so many different bottles. I have so many emotional support bottles, and now I only have 3. I know that sounds only have 3, you only need 1, but I had like 7 at one point, and I'm like, I don't need this many freaking bottles. So I just rotate between 2. So I usually have 1 jug in the fridge, and then I'll rotate it, and then I have a bottle that's like a flip lid. That way if I need to put a bottle in my bag, that way it doesn't leak. So I actually have a purpose for all 3 bottles. So yeah, there was a time, I think maybe 2022 or maybe 2020, where everybody was just buying bottles for the sake of buying bottles, and you really don't need any more bottles. So that just reminded me of that one. So my friends, that brings me to the end of this video, the steps that I'm going to take to become more of a minimal person in 2025. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I do post weekly content on this channel, and I'll also leave my Instagram and TikTok handles here if you want to follow me along on those platforms. And as always, my friends, just remember that one bad day isn't a setback, and tomorrow can always be better. Bye.